the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.
G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox back with another episode of Nashville 2. You're Nashville 2. So let's tell your story. It's Middle Tennessee stories, and it's all about people that maybe others don't know about and the things they love to do around Middle Tennessee. So today with us is Greg Ische, and Greg has, him and I met through a networking event, and he was telling me about his HydroStacker, and let's just learn a little bit about Greg and what he's up to. G'day, Greg. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here and looking forward to talking to the wonderful people of the Nashville area.
Yeah, so where's home for you right now?
We reside in Spring Hill, Tennessee, just south of Nashville, but the greater Nashville area. Make our way all over the place.
Awesome. And so are you originally from Middle Tennessee or not?
Well, you know, I spent 28 years as a professional chef. I've had the blessings of moving all over the country, but we moved up from Sarasota, Florida about 2 years ago to launch HydroStacker West, which is the business that I operate here. But this is our intentions to make this long-term home for us. So.
Awesome. Right. Well, I've been here since December of 21, and I can tell you what, I love it. So, Greg, tell me a little bit about what your company is and what it does.
Well, you know, feel very privileged to be able to talk to the people of Nashville about the hydrostacking system. The HydroStack is a vertical growing system that was developed just approximately 30 years ago from a gentleman named Chester Bullock, who was working on some farming systems that he had, and it's kind of the preeminent growing system in the United States as far as hydroponics because of its versatility. Now, this is I always like to say that we're in the vertical real estate business because we already have the ability to take what people would grow inside the ground, where it would be 1 or 2 plants, and vertically and hydroponically we can grow 20. I've got a couple of the stackers that are in behind me, but one of the beautiful things about this system is that because it's a hydroponic system, we're not really growing in the dirt, and we don't have the challenges that some of the conventional gardeners or conventional farmers might have with the growing of fruits, vegetables, herbs, or flowers in dirt.
So who's your target audience or your ideal client, so to speak?
Well, that's a wonderful question. The beautiful thing about this is that the ideal client actually crosses many different evrons. We have customers that are commercial farmers, sometimes U-pick operations where they may have berry operations, but we have literally tens and thousands of home growers that put these systems right in their backyard. A lot of these systems, you can put 80 plants vertically in about a 13 to 14 foot span, whereas that might be in a garden, might be 25 feet by 60 feet long. So we have all kinds of different stuff.
We're recording video, and it'll go up on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Do you want to reverse the camera and show us some of your operation as you talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I actually would. Let's see if we can get that camera reversed here.
Zoom can sometimes mess with this. Okay, or you can do it like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes what we can do here. I mean, this is a hydroponics system, the stacker. We have 20 growing plots on it, and in each side one of the planters, there's 4 growing areas, and they actually rotate, so they're able to be turned around. I got some pretty large peppers down there that are blocking into it. Right. But I just planted here. We'll get a little bit closer. I just planted these strawberry plants, a bare root plant 3 weeks ago, and they're already starting to blossom. Matter of fact, they're actually starting to come up, and I've got berries starting to form on that. But other things that we can grow in the system here is, I love to call it my tower of herbs here. As a former professional chef, I always love to have fresh herbs on hand where I'm growing either basil or mint or thyme or anything, whatever it might be.
It doesn't take up a lot of room.
No, that's actually the real beautiful thing. As I was saying, growing what you would put 1 plant, maybe possibly 2 plants in the ground, we get that geometrical growth by growing the plants vertically. And
So
then
would
we
it
don't have.
work for, that would work for some, like we're in a 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony, that a setup like that for all of my wife's herbs, or mine actually, would be
Yeah,
a great setup too.
absolutely. Now we drive the metal pipe into the ground here in this garden here, but using like a cinder block or actually a patio block that's got a hole in top of it, we
Right.
actually have setups, and it actually can sit beautifully on the back of a patio. Now
Okay.
we would call that more of a hand watering system, but with our nutrients that we have, basically just hand water through the top of the diffuser here, and it
Right.
would water all the plants.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so how did this come about? Like, how did you find out about it?
You know, I was working on a project for a major company that was located, major food company. You know, I spent 28, as I said, as a chef, but I spent the last 15 years as a corporate chef for some pretty major companies in the United States. And I was working on a project where we were actually looking to grow some fresh lettuce right inside a restaurant concept that we were working on. And as I was looking for hydroponics and grow walls and everything, I discovered that right there in Sarasota, in the Sarasota area, was the hydrostacking system. So I took a commercial class just to take a look and see exactly what the system all entailed, and it blew my mind. And you know, I spent, as I said, 15 years as in the research and development aspect of this, and I just my creative mind just clicked, and I went, "This is a game changer for farmers. It's a game changer for communities, a game changer for everything." And I became engaged with Chester, who is the developer of it and the creator of it, and the patent holder of it for that matter, and just loved it. And when we started talking about putting a commercial garden in, my wife and I, he said, "Well, listen, you know, would love for you to come on board, and you could have a distribution of that." And we jumped on it. So it was kind of it kind of ties into my culinary roots, because I love growing vegetables, and it was something I'd always had a garden, but this one just took it to the next level.
Right. And so what is your distribution area?
Well, of course, Nashville being the primary, we've actually moved the Western distribution for HydroStacker for North America right here in the Nashville area. But we can go from basically Ohio down to Mississippi, and everything west of that in the United States
Oh, wow.
yeah. So it's a large territory. Sometimes I seem to think that it might be a little too large
Right.
because it's so big. But you know, home is Nashville, and this is where the distribution works. You know, Nashville's a beautiful place for the crossroads of the United States, and I really believe the heart of the USA. And really, what a beautiful place to have the distribution right here in Nashville. Plus, I
Yeah.
get all the benefits of Nashville too.
Right, exactly, and some of the drawbacks like the traffic, but you know, we'll take the good with the bad.
Right.
Although, you know, it's not so much the traffic, man. It's those on and off ramps that they don't repair, and you hit a 4-foot deep pothole. It seems like
Yeah, yeah,
that's the part that gets me. One
lovely
day,
when you see the trailer bouncing up behind the back
that's
of the
right.
truck. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As a business owner, it can be tiring paying cash for everything you need. Well, there's a better way. Introducing Trade Bank of Nashville. Our bartering service lets you exchange goods and services without the need for cash transactions. Trade Bank helps businesses like yours reduce expenses, bring in new business, and keep your cash where you need it most. Find out more and join our barter network today. Start getting what you need without paying cash, because sometimes barter is just smarter. Apply today at nashville.tradebank.com.
So when you're not working, Greg, what is it you like to do? So we do a thing on the show called 3 Hidden Gems. So
Yeah.
hidden gems, which I'm sure were in the interview process that you filled out. But it's funny, my daughter is my podcast producer, and she uses that with the show notes. And I'm like, you know, I go in blind. Can you share that with me before I go into the interview? And she still hasn't got it set up where I get to see what you fill out yet. So
Well,
I'm
there's
flying
so
blind.
many. There's so many gems here in the greater Nashville area, but of course, you know, the music scene is off the, you know, I mean,
Off the charts.
yeah, it's off the charts. It goes without saying that. But one of the places that my wife and I really enjoy, especially at this time of the year, is we head over to one of the wineries over here. We go to Arlington Vineyards,
Okay.
and take up the jazz, and we also love the bluegrass that's going out there, and we take a picnic over there and enjoy that. That's definitely one of our go-tos. And if anybody comes into our place, which Nashville's a destination,
Right.
it's a go-to place. My wife and I also love walking, and one of the beautiful places that we really love going to walk for is we'll go into the Warner Park system, where it's Percy Warner or
Oh, yeah.
Edward Warner Parks, and walk in the system. I've had the opportunity from living from California to Texas to Ohio and Las Vegas, Florida, everything. I think the park system here in the greater Nashville area is some of the best in the USA. So that's just something else that we have a lot of fun. And then, of course, we're always looking for a great place to eat, and no shortages of coming into the Nashville area. Always looking for a good hot chicken sandwich. We try to take those places up. Those are going without saying. But we're always just looking for another little hidden gem as far as a restaurant.
So what about in Spring Hill? Do you have a hidden gem in Spring Hill that you like to eat? It must be tough. Like, you're a professional cook. I mean, you're a chef, right? So when you sit down, are your standards up here, or do sometimes you have to sort of set that aside?
Well, there are many, many times I just set it aside. We like to enjoy the environment, and also one of the benefits. Now, the best place to eat in Spring Hill is definitely my place.
Yeah.
It's definitely my place. And then, of course, taking the fresh produce and lettuce or herbs or whatever, or tomatoes off the garden back here it makes it even better. But
I'll wait for a calendar invite for my wife and I for dinner. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have you over. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. You'll be in for a treat.
Okay.
As far as a couple of the local places, we tend to gravitate up into the Cool Springs and Franklin area. We really love the downtown part of Franklin. So there's a nice little place that we end up going in there. I'm just trying to think of the name. It's just slipped my mind for 1 second here. Of course, we're being recorded, and I've done it. But any of the restaurants down in the main street in Franklin, we've really enjoyed them.
Yeah. What did I find the other day that was pretty cool? I go up to Brentwood to Tacos for Life, which has a pretty cool mission. Yeah. It's a great place. And then right beside that is Just Love Coffee. I either hit the Just Love Coffee Brentwood or the Just Love Coffee in Cool Springs. But also Condado's Tacos. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's right there on Aspen Grove in Cool Springs. And so I'm either at Tacos for Life or Condado's Tacos. They're both really good, but both have sort of a different mission and different plan. But so if somebody wants to get a hold of you to find out more about your hydroponics or your HydroStackers, how's the best way for them to do that?
Well, the best place to actually see the whole picture of the HydroStacker is the website that I have. It's www.hydrostackerwest.com. So
HydroStackerWest.com. Okay.
Yeah, HydroStacker West. That's probably the greatest area for us to do it. Of course, you could Google hydrostacking systems, and of either HydroStacker or HydroStacker West will pop up on that one as well.
Okay.
So those are great.
So from a small system to a large system, right? You don't have a bias. I mean, obviously bigger is better from a monetary standpoint, but helping people, whether they want a small system or a large system, you work with anybody, right?
Absolutely. Listen, we love definitely the small growers, because the small growers always tend to grow into bigger systems. But we have a single stack or 20 plant stacking system that could sit like in your case on the back of your patio, or we could have a garden that would go into a 4-stack system, or we have what we call a 9-stack system, which has a bonus. It ends up having an extra stacking system. And then, of course, our commercial growers, and I just got back from an install we had in Arab, Alabama, about a week and a half ago, and we put in 750 stackers there. So that's 15,000 plants. Now, just to give you a little bit of a scale on that one, because it really, as I like to say, we're in the vertical real estate business. On a standard football field that would be an acre and a half, that's 57,000 plants that can be put on a football field. So over here in the Arab area, that 750 stacker is going to turn into 1,500, and it's going to turn into 3,000. as he continues to expand in there, and his volume and his growth is just going to be astronomical.
And so the whole system set up, you have the nutrients that go into the system as well, that's an ongoing thing that they can get from you, so they don't have to worry about the quality of what they're sourcing because they're getting the top quality through you guys.
Yes, that's exactly it. And thank you. It's a great point that you're making. Matter of fact, we're 100% owned inside our system. We, from every single part to every single, even the grow media, which is a vermiculite and perlite, all that stuff gets encompassed, and we have bundled packages for the HydroStackers. But as far as the nutrients that go back, we have what's called a nutrient A and a nutrient B, and we can either sell it in a 2-pound or a 10-pound or a 25-pound increments. And I have all those products right here in my warehouse here in Spring Hill, and available for anybody who might be interested in. So yes.
Awesome. Well, Greg, it's been great having you on the show and finding out about what you do. Is there anything else we should know that, me being the interviewer, I've forgotten a question or missed a question or didn't cover something that you wanted to cover?
Well, listen, I feel very grateful that we've had the opportunity to have a talk. I'm truly blessed to be here in the Nashville area, and just love the great people that we've been exposed to in the last 2 years, and I look forward to meeting more new friends and hopefully some potential new clients. And I also can't beat the weather here right now.
Right.
I mean, it's just a wonderful place to live. I think it's only going to grow, and it's only going to get better as we continue to move forward.
Yeah. Well, Greg, hang out for a second, but hey, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm just going to stop the recording, and folks, be sure to check out Greg's information at hydrostackerwest.com. Thanks,
Thank
Greg.
you, Edward. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
This is the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.